Supreme Court's power to amend and suspend procedural rules. The power of the Supreme Court to promulgate rules of practice and procedure carries with it the power to amend, repeal, and establish new rules and overturn judicial precedents on points of remedial law. The courts have the power to relax or suspend technical or procedural rules or to accept a case from their operation when compelling reasons so warrant or when the interest of substantial justice so requires. What constitutes a good and sufficient cause is discretionary upon the courts. Example. Section 3, Rule 41 of the Rules of Court provides that the appeal shall be taken within 15 days from the notice of the judgment or final order appealed from, and the period of appeal shall be interrupted by a timely motion for new trial or reconsideration. The question is, when should the 15-day period be counted? So, in the famous case of Napes, the Supreme Court held that to standardize the appeal periods provided in the rules and to afford litigants fair opportunity to appeal their cases, the court deems it practical to allow a fresh period of 15 days within which to file the notice of appeal in the regional trial court, counted from receipt of the order dismissing a motion for new trial or motion for reconsideration. Henceforth, the fresh period rule shall also apply to Rule 40 governing appeals from the municipal trial courts to the regional trial courts, Rule 42 on petitions for review from the regional trial courts to the Court of Appeals, Rule 43 on appeals from quasi-judicial agencies to the Court of Appeals, and Rule 45 governing appeals by certiorari to the Supreme Court. So, although the 15-day period is not specifically provided in the rules, the Supreme Court exercised its power to amend procedural rules. In another case, the Supreme Court held that taking into account the fact that private respondent is entitled to the fresh period rule in the interest of substantial justice, procedural rules of the most mandatory character in terms of compliance may be relaxed. The Supreme Court held that rules of procedure are mere tools designed to facilitate the attainment of justice. It is well recognized that the Supreme Court is empowered to suspend its operation when the rigid application thereof tends to frustrate rather than to promote the ends of justice.